of the interesting features of this bench are the crochet, or hook, and the sliding deadman. And historically, the sliding deadman wasn't really a feature of this bench, but it was added in later times and really proves nice for handling long pieces of wood. So for instance, say I've got a piece here that's a little too long to either set on my planing stop or work unsupported on one end. I can put it here, move this to the desired position, clamp my piece down, and then work an edge from there. Now the crochet allows working an even longer piece, or perhaps if I had a large door or something where I had to actually unscrew the leg vise here and jam it up into there. So what that allows you to do is you jam the piece into there, move the sliding deadman up as far as necessary. With the leg vise removed, you can use hold downs in the leg here. I'm just going to go ahead and use the leg vise for the moment. But imagine this was a large door that was too big to fit here with the screw of the leg vise. Could perhaps even extend down the length of the bench. So once again, you have an end stop, some support from below on long ends, and you can work your edge. There are several ways to use a sliding deadman. One is as a simple passive support, simply resting under the end of a board. Another is you can use a hold fast in there, lock it in place. That's reasonably secure. Now it's not going to wobble outwards. Yet a third way is to rig some sort of clamp up to it. In this case, I've assembled a simple little parallel clamp out of some scraps and threaded dowels. Have a nut that goes through on the end here. Thread that on. Pull it snug. Put your board in place. Clamp that up. So the nice thing about this is it gives you a nice smooth clamping surface, padded surface. You don't have a mark there from your hold fast. Here's another use for the crochet and leg vise. For instance, if I want to do some end graining, I can jam that piece up against the edge, lock it down, take a few passes from this end, and now come in and plane down from this side. And that allows you to work down the length of that piece down to a very fine line. As I mentioned earlier, the legs are flush with the top, so this entire leg and top becomes a clamping surface. So if I want to clamp in a long board like this, crank it into the vise and work the end, that's easy to do. And this vise is subject to a little racking just like other vices, so you might want to put a vise block in right here. And here you can see the same is true on this end. This leg has some hold fast holes as are hidden there by the leg vise. Once again, we're nice and flat here, so if you need to, you can put a board in here, put a hold fast in, one whack, and that thing's held good and solid. Of course, if this was a piece that was going to be finished here, I would want to put some kind of pad here. If you need to bore some holes in a piece, a little bit of scrap underneath, put a pad on top, put your hold fast in. For an operation like this, I use 2 hold fast to keep the piece from rotating under the torque. And then bore your hole. Now if you need to work the edge of this, say we wanted to rabbet it, it's a similar setup. Get rid of that scrap there. Put our pad in place. 1 or 2 holdfasts. Take your rabbet plane and run it down the edge. If you needed a more precise guide, you can put a guide piece down here held down with the holdfast, run the plane up against that for a good guideline. For precision cross-cutting operations, use a bench hook. This hooks on to the front here, gives you a place to hold your workpiece. Again, no clamping required. Set to your line and cut. For rough cross-cutting and ripping operations, we use the saw bench. For rip operations, we rip down like this, and for cross-cut operations, where we can take the piece off the end like this and cross-cut. Cutting the cheeks of a tenon is very easily done in the light vise here. I haven't marked out any lines, but we'll just do some sample cuts here. Very quick to flip the piece. Cut off your shoulders on the bench hook. Clean up your joint and your shoulder plane. To perform mortising operations, and set your piece in, hold it down with the hold fast, and go to work with your mortising chisel. So those are the general features. What makes Chris's Workbenches book more valuable than simply a plan for building a workbench is that it goes through various work holding setups for both hand tool and power tool operations.